Bartolo came into Chase Field looking to take another item off his baseball bucket list, and the 43-year-old Met pitcher sure did. Unfortunately for the veteran right-hander and the Mets, did not get his first ever win over the Diamondbacks. Instead, ended the longest streak in baseball with 256 at-bats, 282 plate appearances without drawing a walk. The Diamondbacks beat up and held off a Mets rally for a 10-6 win and remained the only team in the majors that he has not earned a win over in his 19-year career. To be fair, he has only made 3 starts against them, but Monday was a pretty crucial outing for him and the Mets. The Mets were coming off 2 straight wins, the first time they had scored back-to-back wins since July 6-7. They have now lost 5 of 7. Trying to stay in the hunt for a playoff spot without their big bats, the Mets have now lost 4 straight to the Diamondbacks. Their 9-0 loss to the Diamondbacks at Citi Field just 4 days before could be seen as the low point of the season, sparking Terry Collins to call a team meeting and publicly call out his team's effort that day. The Mets dropped 2-3 games behind the Marlins and Cardinals for the second National League wild card spot with the loss. Considering the Diamondbacks went into a game tied for the 3rd fewest wins in the majors, the Mets really needed to take advantage of this series to make up ground. As they have all season, however, they struggled to capitalize on their offensive opportunities Monday. Travis d'Arnaud's bat continued to heat up, going 3 for 4 and scoring the Mets' first 2 runs. Jose Reyes, in his 3rd game back from the disabled list, drove in 2 runs with 2 singles. Neil Walker hit his 22nd home run of the season in the 9th inning and went 3 for 5. Terry Collins appears at a loss as all these losses to bad teams piled up. And had a rare bad night. He allowed 5 runs, 2 earned, on 9 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 1. He needed 81 pitches to battle through just 4 innings, his shortest start of the season. The first 3 Diamondbacks runs, scored in the first inning, were unearned after T.J. Rivera's fielding error at third base. When you play behind Bartolo you've got to make plays because he is going to put balls in play, manager Terry Collins said. Still, the Diamondbacks were hitting hard. He gave up 6 extra base hits and had to work with base runners on in every inning. Eric Goodell, working for the 5th time in 7 games, gave up 2 runs in the 5th and Seth Lugo allowed 1 in 2 innings work. Manny Thomas hit a 2-run homer off Hansel Robles in the 8th. The Mets were hitting Diamondbacks lefty Robbie Ray, too. He got through 5 innings, allowing 2 runs, 1 earned on 8 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 5. Mets of Ty Kelly can't come up with this ball at the fence. In the 3rd, Travis d'Arnaud led off with a single and reached second on what should have been Collins' sacrifice bunt back to the mound. Ray overthrew second and so remained on base. d'Arnaud scored on Jose Reyes' single. Thought about breaking from third on Jay Bruce's fly out, but with third base coach Tim Teufel holding him up, stayed put. The Mets left the bases loaded in the 3rd. In the 4th, d'Arnaud singled with 2 outs and worked his first career walk after a 7-pitch battle with Ray. d'Arnaud scored from second on Ray's single. The Mets got some help from the Diamondbacks' struggling bullpen in the 7th. Steve Hathaway put 3 runners on base with 7 pitches, giving up back-to-back singles to Curtis Granderson and Neil Walker. He walked Jay Bruce before the Diamondbacks turned to Randall Delgado. He walked Wilmer Flores to bring in a run and gave up a sacrifice fly to Rivera. The Diamondbacks bullpen went into Monday night's game with the worst bullpen era in baseball, 5.05. Having on the base paths Monday night probably slowed the Mets down in the 3rd inning, but their inability to bring in runner has been a consistent problem. They went into the game with an embarrassing .204 team batting average with runners in scoring position.